Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Booth. This is the Review Geek Talk Show, and we got some love from Kelly. um, yeah, so welcome. Hey, we have Kelly Stern with us tonight. How are you doing, Cobra Kai?
Good.
All
Fight,
right.
fight hard. No mercy.
No mercy. That's right. And then we got Tony, but Qui-Gon Tony tonight.
Is all what you're looking for.
A little creepy, but good.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. And we have Sean coming in later, so that'll be fun to see. What if he dresses up? That'd be cool. If not, we'll give him some hackling.
Right.
Yeah. And then yeah, that's it. So tonight we're going to talk about, I don't know, maybe some scary stories, or maybe like a scary movie that traumatized us through our childhood or something. And then if you could think of one. And then we'll talk about some Ahsoka, some Star Wars, and maybe a little bit of Loki, since Tony watched it and he's excited to talk about it. So,
Well, it's funny. Like you just shared what we were going to talk about, right?
mm-hmm.
And I've already got like two stories from my childhood that still freak me out. That came to
Cool.
mind. So one was my mom used to. She always loved Halloween, and she would go to the local library where I grew up, and she would tell scary stories to all the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she would tell this one called Mary Colhane, and it was about if any of the viewers know that story. It's basically a girl is buried alive.
Oh, wow.
Still freaks me out to think about. It's creepy. I can't tell the story. I'm sorry. I wasn't prepared for that, but yeah, that one still creeps me out. And then the Telltale Heart, that one's always kind of freaked me out as well. So show some love, Kelly.
Right, it didn't work that time.
It's not working.
You gotta get right in the front, like I think. There you go.
Up a little higher.
There
You go. Woo. Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
What's up, love it? How are you?
Coming straight out of my chest, man. Straight out.
That.
All right.
So Kelly, do you got any stories?
I have no stories. I'm not much of a storyteller. But I mean, movies wise, freak me out. I mean, I watch movies and the old, 80s movies, like, or even the Exorcist would really freak me out. Still freaks me out. My kids won't even watch it. They watch The Conjuring and all those stupid movies now, but they're nothing compared to the first Exorcist.
Mm.
And that was like the same year I was born. And I think I watched it when I was like 3 or 4. I don't know. Creepy,
Wow.
creepy, man.
Yeah.
That one still gets me.
Sometimes there's nothing like the classics, right?
Yeah. I've only seen it maybe 2-3 times. I don't want to see it again. I don't know if I can go back to it, man. I don't know. It is a weird movie.
I don't particularly like horror movies at all. Myself.
Show that, man. It's all about baby.
Well, I can enjoy Halloween without not liking horror movies, can I?
You don't like stuff like that?
What?
Zombie movies?
Oh, well, those are kind of goofy. So
Night Return of the Living Dead back in the day. That's one.
I never really watched that.
The one zombie movie that I liked was 28 Days Later.
Yeah, it was a little freaky.
It was, but I don't know. For some reason, I liked it. I don't know why.
Yeah. That was a UK film, wasn't it?
What's that?
The UK, and it filmed in the UK, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, that was an interesting movie.
Right.
Hello, Murray.
Hi there.
I'm not seeing the chat. I don't want to mess anything up.
Oh,
On your it's.
You just got to keep doing this thing.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it goes. I love it.
Not the
I
middle.
love it.
It's all love, man. It's the heartbeat. Johnny.
What's that? So, I guess I can tell a story when I was. I don't know how young I was. I think I was about 6, 7, 8. I don't know. My mom used to work at restaurants when I was a kid, and I think it was a pizza place that she was working at this time. And we didn't do Halloween too much. We didn't dress up or anything. So I made my own costume at home, and I brought it with me. And it was like a pirate costume. At least I thought it looked piratey, you know. Oh, I look like a pirate with this. And I went out when she was working. We would go with her, so I went out into the streets, you know, thinking I was cool. I might go get some candy or whatever. And then I heard like screaming and like a chainsaw noise, and it freaked me out. So I ran back inside. I didn't want to see what it was, you know. I was like, I don't know, I don't want to see that. So I ran back inside, and I for the longest time didn't go back out to Halloween trick-or-treat and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was out every year.
Did you?
35.
Just last year was your last day.
You know, the clubs, whatever, and dress up, and the Globetrotters or the Turtles, or get all my buddies. I'd make all their costumes, and we all go out every year. We did that for about 10 years. So I'd make everybody's costume, and that's the only way I could get everybody out, enjoy the Halloween night. And my wife doesn't like Halloween very much, so I kind of stopped. As soon as my kids were born, we just went out with them and did some trick or treating and stuff. And I dressed up as Luke and had Yoda on my back a couple of years. And, you know, dressed my kid up as the little baby Superman with aluminum foil all around. Like and like things shooting out of it, like silver, like Cain came in, and
oh yeah,
all that goofy stuff. But now it's, you know, fun to dress up, but you know, just hang out. No more clubs for me.
Nice.
But I did win one year. I won as John McEnroe. I wore the McEnroe, the big and the headband and the short shorts and the wooden racket.
Oh, nice.
And I was waving around, and I smashed it on the stage, and I threw it out in the crowd, and I was screaming at everybody. And
well, everybody, let's welcome our other co-host, Sean.
And I'm without costume because I was rushing to get here and didn't have time. I had a whole plan, and I'm a giant failure.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, man.
Hello.
What up, Sean?
Hello, hello.
Well, you're here. That's all that matters.
I could go throw a helmet on, but then no one would be able to hear me.
Well, you could.
You got something you could wear, some goofy hat, or
I do.
There you go.
He's got some.
That thing, yeah, that's.
Oh, there you go. Your broken jaw.
I saw the post, and that was. Oof.
Oh, no.
What the heck?
He's a zombie, broken jaw zombie.
Man, can you put a shot in there and drink it, or no? Or some liquor?
That's funny.
I heard you guys talking about Halloween costumes and everything, and that's always something near and dear to my heart.
Yes. We also said we also talked about a couple of scary stories in our life that kind of scared us, I guess. I don't know if it really scared us, but so I guess since you're here, do you have a scary story when you were a kid? Middle age, you know?
I don't have a good scary story. We had a we had a house in the neighborhood that no one had lived in for a long time, and it became, you know, the local house of legend that everyone talked about what mysterious things had happened there in the past, and everyone was always scared to walk by that house. But no good stories or nothing ever happened that was notable. Just everybody talking themselves into being scared.
Gotcha. So no one went into the house, broke a leg,
No,
fall to the
nothing
floor,
like that.
nothing like that.
Nothing good.
Nope. Anything like that?
No, no.
Well.
Oh, that's fun. So I guess we can move on to, I don't know, I guess let's talk about some scary movies that we've seen. I know Kelly already said a couple that we've seen and probably won't watch again because it was too scary for us. Or, I mean,
let's just go around the room. Go around the room and.
All right.
There you go. Yeah. We can start with Sean.
All right. So my horror movie story, my scary movie story was when I was in probably fourth grade. I wanted to see The Shining because I had read the book. I was a big Stephen King fan, and I had read all the books and Pet Sematary and all of those. And I went and rode my bike over the summer when I was staying with my dad. I rode my bike to the movie theater, and during the middle of the day, went and saw The Shining. And it was by myself, and it got to the part where there's I'm not ruining anything here, but there's the old lady who's in the bathtub in the room, and she's laying in the bed and she's screaming, and there's all that. And I, as a fourth grade kid, ran out of the theater crying. And I was so mad at myself. I went the next day and sat through the entire movie again because I was so mad that I had left the theater. That was the scaredest I've probably ever been in a movie, and I wouldn't let it beat me.
What movie theater would let a 10-year-old kid go in and watch Shining?
Yeah. Who knows? Different time.
Different time for sure. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So you forced yourself, no one else, just you.
No, just me.
You were disappointed in yourself, so you forced
yourself.
So
mad. Yeah. I was so mad.
Huh. That's interesting.
All right, next.
You mentioned I really liked The Shining, actually. That was creepy but really good. Pet Sematary was pretty freaky, the first one, the original.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it really had to do for me with at what age I saw, because I believe I saw those as I got a little bit older. But I think the first one I remember really freaked me out was the Friday the 13th.
The first one?
Yeah, and I think I don't know when that came out, but I remember watching that, and man, I couldn't go to sleep for a week.
Yeah,
afraid somebody was gonna come up out of my bed, from under my bed, like the typical goofy, there's monsters under your bed, or whatever. So I don't know how old I was. I'm certain I was very young. We'll stick to that.
Well, we could talk about the Stephen King movies all night, man. Like,
yeah.
The one that freaked me out was it Creep Show?
Oh yeah.
You guys remember Creep Show? It was like four short about the crate, that monster in the crate.
Yep.
Like Ted Danza was in one. Like he got buried underwater, and he came back and killed. Was it Liam Neeson or Nelson? Nelson.
Yeah.
Guy does Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the one at the end, the guy was obsessive compulsive, and he cleaned his apartment, and a roach came out, and he was trying to kill this roach. And everywhere he looked, he was trying to kill it, and all of a sudden, there was more and more of them, and they started coming out of the drain.
Yeah,
it's usually what happens.
They were coming all out, and they pan out to the very end, and there's nothing left. It's just him on the ground, and it's
crawling out of his
and his belly and his chest is moving up, and his neck, and I was like, man, I was like 10 years old, 8 years old when I watched that. That still messes me up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
King? I don't think it was a Stephen King, was it? Creep Show? Might have been. Is that the one with
Was it like maybe Twilight Zone or something?
Didn't Stephen King was in one? It was like the Swamp Thing or something. He touched a meteor, then he had green fur all over him at the end.
I remember that one.
I think that's Creep Show. Isn't that Creep Show? Someone in the comments help me out.
I'm checking too.
Google it.
It started growing this green fur on his.
Yeah, it's Stephen King. It's made a collection of some of his short stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
you got it.
I dug that one.
All right, Dan.
My turn, huh? All right. You guys are gonna laugh at me. No Stephen King movies.
Oh, Carrie?
No. There was this. Okay, I guess first I'll talk about Sleepy Hollow. That movie kind of creeped me out a little bit. What's that?
Johnny Depp one?
Yeah, with Johnny Depp. Yeah. I mean, as I'm older now, it doesn't creep me out. But it creeped me out except for one scene when I watched it for the first time. In the beginning, when the Headless Horseman comes up and chops some guy's head off, right? I don't know if you guys seen the movie or not.
Yeah.
But he swings down and his head comes off this way. And that kind of made me laugh. But then the rest of the movie was just kind of creepy to me. So I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird movie.
Was that Tim Burton?
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was Tim Burton. Yeah.
And the decapitation scene you're talking about, is that the one where the guy's head spins around and it falls off onto the ground?
I think that's what it happened. Yeah, it was in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
so
it's the one guy. Yeah.
So that was I was laughing at that point, but then the rest of it I kind of wasn't, and I was just like, I don't know, this is a weird movie. But of course I was a kid, I didn't know anything. But that, how old was I? I think I was like 13 years old. I was never into watching horror movies or thriller movies too much, so I guess that one freaked me out. And then the same night, because I was spending the night at a friend's house, so the same night they put on another movie, and this was more of a horror movie, not a thriller like that one. It was called The Scarecrow or something like that, and it was kind of perverted and horror-ish all at the same time, and it was like that traumatized me. I was like that I'm not gonna watch movies like that ever again. It was just weird and gross, and I don't know, it was yeah.
Last weekend we did a haunted house at my daughter's grammar school that I do every year, and we did it all movie themed. I was the demented dead bellhop, and I was walking them through the different movie scenes, and each of the scares, each one of the rooms was based on a different movie or TV show, and the whole theme was that they had come to life, and we got to get through to the end. And so it was, making a bunch of little kids cry. So it was
right.
But we did The Ring. We did Stranger Things. We did.
Oh,
We did. My youngest daughter's obsessed with the Freddy games and excited about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie coming up. So we did a Five Nights at Freddy's, and we did like a Scarecrow type themed one. So that was the different rooms that we did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that over with?
Yes, it's done.
Really?
Oh, it's over.
But I had to make this. Hold on.
Okay. I'll come back to this comment in a second. I'll wait until he
freak me out.
Or maybe I should just. Okay,
oh no.
We had to have a Five Nights at Freddy's mask, which it's all just made out of cardboard and felt, but that was our Freddy.
Oh, that's cool.
His eyes are glowing, right?
Yeah.
Much love.
There you go.
And I don't know anything about that franchise or anything about it. That's all my daughter's all in.
Right. Love it.
All right, so Levitt says, was watching Signs at a friend's house, and another friend banged on the window behind us during the scary part. Made me jump 2 feet.
Yeah, Signs is a good one. I like that one. I like a good horror movie or a scary movie that's not. I like to use my imagination in the movie. I don't like to be beaten over the head by it. And Signs is a good one because there's a couple scenes where they're walking along and you see like things move in the background. Like if you look at like Sixth Sense, where the kid's in the mirror and somebody walks past in the hallway, and those are the good scares for me, where it's like it just kind of makes your hair stand up, and I like those kind of scares. Those are good mental scares.
Yeah.
Right. What's up, Anonymous? How you doing? Yeah, I liked Signs. Did you know I watched that movie like 100 times because I like Mel Gibson. He's one of my favorite actors. So in the one part where they're sitting in the closet watching the TV and you see the alien walking by and then they jump and they're like, oh, there it is. You know, did you notice when the alien is walking, he walks like Bigfoot?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, with the swinging arms, like.
That's good.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, go ahead and rewatch that movie and check that part out.
Yeah.
They like gave a nod to the whole Bigfoot, thing where the video's all blurry and then you just see a little bit of it.
Yeah. There's some good. I like those kind of more. They make you think a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. All right. So Levitt did say a while back in one of her comments that her favorite, I guess her favorite Halloween movie would be Nightmare Before Christmas.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. You know what? It's I just watched that 2 nights ago, and it wasn't as cool as it was when it first came out. I don't know. I just thought it was boring. I'm like, what is this?
30 years old.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now it's all been done 1,000 times now.
Yeah.
My love of Nightmare Before Christmas is the overhaul they do of Disneyland in the Haunted Mansion. I think that the whole changing that around Halloween and Christmas, it adds a lot of fun to that area.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie that they just came out with?
Which one?
The Haunted
Mansion?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, did you? Okay. Did you like it?
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad for what it was. I mean, if you go into it expecting, it's not going to win an Academy Award. It's just some mindless fun. I'm fairly easy to please when it comes to a movie. I'm as long as I'm entertained, I'm not that harsh a critic on it. Even even if it's a Star Wars movie or Star Wars thing. It's like as long as I'm entertained, I'm fine. I'm not overly critical.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. Unfortunately, I am overly critical.
That's your job.
I guess. It's a job I made to be my job.
All right, Tony, you're up for next movie.
Well, I was just thinking Poltergeist kind of freaked me out when that first came out because I was young when that was done very well.
The steak on the counter.
Yes.
Steak moving.
Yeah.
And the guy ripping his face off.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, that was
right, Carol Ann.
Right.
Yeah, it's Drew Barrymore, right? When she was a little girl.
No, that was E.T., man.
E.T. Okay.
And the thing
and
is,
Firestarter.
It's all those characters except for the guy who does Coach, whatever the guy's name. They all pretty much
Nelson.
It's like a curse of Poltergeist. All the kid got electrocuted, the little girl or something. Someone drowned. Someone got shot or something. It's like 4 or 5 people died.
Yeah. Really?
After that Poltergeist movie, yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole legend behind that movie that I mean, there's like bladder infections and all kinds of weird things that people died from that were all a part of that movie, other than Craig T. Nelson. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, wow. Craig T. Nelson. Yeah, he's the only one that really survived that one.
Well, that's freaky.
Yeah, that's interesting.
What about I don't know if it's a horror, but what was it? Is Jacob's Ladder?
Ooh. Yes.
I don't think a lot of people have seen that, but it was the first movie you ever seen that people's faces twitching.
Yeah.
Like that, like in the background, you seen this dude with no face twitching.
Yeah, right? And there was like somebody in the back of a car looking out of the back window. Yeah.
Like moving all, now there's just jump scares, like they move kind of weird and they come at you.
Right.
It was like, that was the first kind of awkward looking people moving and twitching in the corner. And that movie messed me up because I couldn't watch any movie with anything that was slowed down or sped up. I'm like, it's going to be a jump scare every time for me. That was weird.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
It was that Tim, big tall guy, did Shawshank.
Tim, yeah.
Whatever name is, I can't remember his name right
Married to Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. Golly, Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that movie is weird.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw the whole thing, but I remember watching part of it, and I think I came in like halfway through.
Yeah, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
It was pretty weird.
I don't think it's that great. It's just weird parts in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one that really messed with my head was recently, and it wasn't really a horror movie at all. It was The Joker. The newest one that came out.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yes.
Yep. About that was. It's about mental illness, right?
Yeah. That's pretty twisted.
It is.
And then in the end of the movie, you don't know if everything you watched was real or fake.
Right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. They really did a good job of that. I think, wasn't that like an independent filmmaker that?
Probably.
It's a very Joker for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the second one, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a feel-good movie for sure.
No.
A little heavy.
You can eat some cake and everything afterwards. Talk and laugh with your family. It's not
like like a kid's birthday party, maybe.
Yeah.
It's a clown. Come on.
Yeah.
I never seen like the whole movie It, but I remember it was on TV once. And there was like just certain parts that I watched as a kid. And the whole sewer thing with his hand going, "Hello, kitties," come on down here or something. I don't know. It was weird. That freaked me out.
It's like terrible makeup, and compared to it now, you can't really compare the two.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
And it's Tim Curry character, whatever I think his name is.
Yep.
Another Tim guy, but he did good for the time, but I never really watched it either. It just
very different.
Yeah. Made for TV.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right.
The concept, the story was really good. Again, another Stephen King. It was a very well done story and a very scary story. Just the TV version just didn't have the same bite.
Right.
The only thing that's freaking me out right now is Tony's camera there. See how it's jumping?
The twitching?
Yeah. What's going on over there, Tony?
I don't know.
I just thought maybe you're getting hacked into or something. Someone's gonna come walking up behind you. Love. Here's some love for the children.
No idea, but
yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe my camera's
it stopped. I don't know what. Oh, what?
No, now it's starting again.
Now it's starting again. Yep. It's your plug. It's probably the cord. Yeah. You know how wires, you move them around too much, they start breaking inside. That's probably what happened.
And based on Tony's background, he's been moving a lot of wires constantly as he's making new things and putting new stuff in there. It's a constant reorganization.
Not wrong.
Techie guy here, and has got the 80s VHS tape going on.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking. It goes good with your Cobra Kai suit,
Right.
Yeah, we need to swap. Yeah, that's strange. But now I'm freaked out. Like you mentioned I mentioned a poltergeist, and you have all those people die, and I'm like, oh my god.
It all started. The little clown that wraps around her neck and underneath the bed. Remember that part?
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Yeah, like she looks this way and it's like you can see the foot go in, and you look the other way and it's right here. Fuck. I'm watching that tonight, man. I'm watching it tonight. I'm gonna jump in my butt with a bunch of skeletons, and it's gonna be good.
There you go.
Like, did you ever watch that? It was like an online short. There was a horror that they then later made into a movie that was drug out too long. It's like I think it was Don't Turn Out the Light. Did you ever see that?
I heard it. I didn't see it.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was when they first came out with that effect of the open mouth scream, where it's like the mouth is like open too wide. And it was the thing where it's like every time she would turn off the light, there would be like some movement in the hallway and something kept getting closer and closer. And then she turns it on and the person's right there. And good jump scare.
Damn you.
But not good for a whole hour and a half long movie. We got
right.
Like that was it.
Or you got the Hellraiser movies too, the original Hellraiser.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They go into like the dimension of the horror hell dimensions. And the CD head and the creepy characters. That
pinhead guy,
and he needed blood, like he was resurrection through a guy, and he had to like suck someone's blood or something. It came to the floor, and
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods, yeah, good one.
You know what? I know we're gonna jump into some Star Wars stuff, but what would it be cool if Star Wars, since Lucasfilm owns it now, Disney owns it now, would it be cool if they made like a not totally horror, but kind of like a scary type Star Wars series or movie or something?
Yeah.
Would you guys be down for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. I not to get too far off topic, but I mean, I think that's one of the things that I liked about the Andor series is it had a different feel from the rest of the Star Wars that I was used to. It felt like a different. It was Star Wars, but in a whole different genre to me, and I enjoyed that. So I'd be game for something different. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, Quinn, trying to make a horror Star Trek. That'd be cool to be a horror Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be interesting to see, anyways. Now, would you guys? I mean, obviously, horror is mostly like blood, scary guts. I don't know. Star Wars wouldn't be able to do too much blood and guts, right? So, what do you think they might be able to do?
Well, you got these movies in space. We got Event Horizon was a creepy movie.
Yeah, Alien.
Right. Alien. Yeah.
Alien.
Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Space horrors.
Yeah, the horror movie that I just wrapped up, it was all about blood and guts. It was the easy way out, and I think a Star Wars themed space style horror, kind of like an Alien, would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
There's been certain scenes, even in some of the animated series, that kind of lean that way a little bit, like when they would go visit like an abandoned medical station or frigate that's just kind of floating, and
right,
and they have to go in, and there were a couple of things like that you could do some more of like a suspense more than the blood and guts, and just kind of do the jump scare.
Yeah,
right.
What about the Ahsoka with the three sisters are kind of evil?
Yeah, you could have gone horror with that.
Yeah,
right.
They could have.
Kind of horror,
They didn't.
But they didn't.
Nope.
Yeah. Sean, what was that in your hands? What did you want to show us?
The opening scene to the horror movie that I did is it's the kid when he's younger, before he goes off to prison and then goes on his killing spree, kind of like a Halloween type of theme. And I was asked to put together the neighbor cat decapitated hanging from the chandelier, and I after therapy, I gave them this.
I guess after some therapy.
Wow,
interesting. It looks good.
And it's I went and I bought like a one of those plastic Halloween cats. Luckily, it was at a time that there were things that were available. So this is a combination of stuffed animals and Halloween cats, and I like sculpted the spine out of air dry clay, and I mean it's a combination of all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
Get all that stuff, Sean. Wow.
But here's so if you ever have a need for, so we were filming in this this really old house that had these wooden floors that were from some place in San Francisco, and the owner was like really protective of the floors, and so we're bringing in stuff like this, and the director wanted blood everywhere, and so he's like, hey, I also need to be able to put blood all over the floors and the table and stuff like that, and we can't have it stain. We can't do anything that's going to stain. And so I did a bunch of different experiments, and I came up with something. If you're like a Halloween prop maker and you need something for your scare at your house or whatever, what I did is I got JB Weld, and it's just the clear epoxy JB Weld, and I just bought the cheapest stuff that I could find, and I mixed in resin dyes to it and mixed it up, and that's like what all of this goo is here. It's just clear epoxy mixed with resin dyes, and so it gives a look of something wet, and we could put it on the floors and not have it ruin any of the floors. But it's a good reusable blood effect for anyone that was doing something like that for Halloween.
Wow.
No, that's cool.
Impressive.
Nice.
Yeah. Innovative, right? Very innovative.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Anyway, so you were talking about horror and Star Wars.
Right. I guess let's get back into that because we gotta talk a little bit about that last 2 episodes of Ahsoka, because we didn't get to talk about those last 2 episodes last review show. So, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think some suspenseful horror style Star Wars would be kind of cool. I mean,
I'm curious to see what they do with that that new series coming out with the kids. What's that called?
Oh, the cartoon one?
No, it's a live action.
Kids? Oh,
they called it. It was like a Stranger Things in space kind of.
Oh,
I haven't
drawn
seen
a blank. What's it called? Help me out here.
It's not Star Wars.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars
It is.
show. It's a Disney Plus series coming.
It's a new one.
Oh.
I don't know.
No, the Acolyte's more of like the dark side users, but this one's daggone it, what's it called? You gotta Google it now.
So I'm curious as we're trying to find that. Just overall, what does everyone think of the Ahsoka series?
The Skeleton Crew, that's what it was called.
Ah, yes, I have heard of that.
It was supposed to come out the end of this year. It's gotten pushed back till next year, but it sounded like there was a potential for some creepiness there. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering what everybody's take was on the Ahsoka series.
Let's see here. It started off good, and it ended very flat. I didn't really enjoy the ending because it was like, where's it going? It got confused, like you're watching it. It started off pretty decent, and then all of a sudden the show gets confused at the end, and it's like, well, okay, it's just another one of those Star Wars shows that they just kind of throw out there to throw out there. So that's my opinion.
It really felt that way, and I'm really surprised and a little disappointed because Dave Filoni, everything he's done up until now was just it was
home decent. Run. Yeah,
home run after home run. But yeah, this one I will say the first couple episodes were very slow. Some really weird, awkward editing that it could have been sped up and saved about 10 minutes on both those first 2 episodes, I think. And in the middle, it got pretty good. I liked Hayden Christensen, that whole thing. Balin's skull was amazing.
Yeah, yes,
it's really a drag that we won't get to, unless they recast him.
Right.
We're just kind of left hanging with that. It really sucks because he was probably the most interesting thing about the entire show. His story.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He really didn't even say that much. It just kept alluding to this thing or this, this goal or vision that he had. So
yeah,
what was
that?
What was he looking for? Peace.
Well, in the end, it shows him on one of those Mortis gods, a statue of one of the Mortis, the 3 Mortis gods. So that ties back in.
What is that about, though? What is that?
That was from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Series. Basically, you got the father who's basically, the middle, and then he's got a daughter who's in the light force, and then a son who's the dark side of the force. and the father kind of keeps him, balanced.
Right.
But in the Clone Wars animation, they end up in this place that's really not anywhere.
Between worlds.
Yeah, kind of, but
Yeah.
not quite the same concept. But and Ahsoka dies. She's still Anakin's apprentice at the time, and the daughter gives up her life to save Ahsoka. So that's what that bird's about. That little bird that follows her around is kind of the daughter's spirit as a part of Ahsoka.
Because I'll admit, and from a guy who originally my goal in life is I thought I was going to do animation, so it's not like I have something against animation. I for whatever reason I could never get into the animated series, and watching this, I think it almost relied too much on looking like the animated series at times, and it seemed a little fan servicey, and I'm all for fan service. I mean, I loved A New Hope, and I love different movies that talk about past movies and stuff like that, and I get that, but it seemed like it was catering a little too much to the fans of the animated shows.
Right. I think that might be because Dave Filoni did do all those animated shows,
I think that's what happened. I think he got so far into it that, he, again, that whole Mordecai thing, if you didn't watch those episodes, you'd have no idea what.
I mean, if you didn't watch any animated shows, you would have no idea what this Ahsoka one is about,
Right.
Yeah, right. I watched the Clone Wars, like the first 4 seasons, and I stopped watching it. It was really good, though. It was just getting really political, so I kind of stopped watching it.
Yeah, it was just getting kind of redundant almost.
I might have watched Bad Batch, like the first season, but I missed Rebels. I missed all that stuff, so I really did.
Rebels is probably my favorite animated series. Rebels, the storyline for that.
Yeah, my buddy really likes the Rebels. He's telling me to watch it. I think I have to explain some things in Ahsoka.
But I think you're right, Sean. I think it's basically Rebels season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I mean,
only live action.
I can do without the hyperspace whales, and I mean, and I'm all for creatures from other galaxies and stuff like that. But when all of a sudden they got a hyperspace engine coming out of their porthole, I'm like, oh God, where are we going with
this? Yeah. Those didn't. I know that a lot of people got hung up on those. They didn't really bother me. It's just part of the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Dan had sent around some clip from that was funny. It's like somebody doing a pitch of that show, and I agreed with a lot of that, because it just seemed like there was an old Saturday Night Live skit where they used to make fun of just the tropes where there would be like 50 guys attacking one person, and like they would of course do it one at a time instead of all of them doing it once. And it's the same thing. It's like, you see, I don't care how bad of a shot the stormtroopers are, there are a ton of them. I mean, and there were just a lot of things like that it's like, look, I'm a fan and all, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard other people say, well, what about when Darth Vader was fighting Obi-Wan and Luke was standing there watching it and all the stormtroopers were there? They didn't shoot a shot, but I think that was a different scenario,
Yeah.
Compared to this.
All right, so you brought up Obi-Wan, and I'll ask this: what happened to the days when you got hit with a lightsaber and you disappeared? I mean,
and you died.
Vanished when he got hit with that lightsaber. When I was younger, I thought, oh my gosh, a lightsaber is the most powerful weapon. You hit that and you disintegrate. And now it's like, I got stabbed through the stomach. I'll be fine. I mean, What happened?
He pushed disintegration.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to the power of the lightsaber.
Yeah, I liked cutting. What was his name? Goodness, Darth Maul. I liked when he got cut in half, and you didn't see him again for a long time, and then all of a sudden, this was Dave Filoni. Oh, let's bring him back. He was just cut in half. He's not dead. I mean, are you sure he's not dead? Cut in half. That kind of seems like it'd be something,
Yeah.
I don't know. And at that time, George Lucas let him do it. So, I mean, and then now with all this other goofy stuff going on, it's like, well, I guess Star Wars is just basically a free for all. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Didn't the Reva chick, she got stabbed twice, right?
Yeah.
And she's fine. She's good.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't understand when a lightsaber is deadly and when it's not.
Yeah. Right.
There's all those memes going around too, where Qui-Gon's watching these other shows.
Yeah. When did the back to tank get invented? Like a couple of days after you died.
Right? Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Like they used to.
I really wanted to like Ahsoka, and there were parts of it that I did like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But more bothered me about it than what I liked, so it kind of took me away from a lot of it, I don't know, like Ahsoka's, we got to stop Thrawn, and then she gets there, and then
She
doesn't.
I'm right where I need to be.
Right.
Happy with the turtle people. Like, what about all of that stuff you just said about stopping Thrawn? Like, the worst case scenario has happened, and you're not there.
Yeah.
She might turtle people, man.
And I like a good friend, but you're going to give up the entire galaxy because you want to. Hey, I want to go visit this guy again that I haven't seen in a while. The slight chance that he's over there, I'm going to give up the entire galaxy because I might see this guy again. I mean, that seems
he's right away from everything.
Yeah,
you didn't have to look. He's just like, oh yeah, there he is. Hey,
yeah, I know.
I'm like,
like that.
Already 10 minutes in the show is like this. That's the guy. That's the
How long has Thrawn been there and hasn't seen the guy anywhere? And then she immediately.
Yeah.
That's funny. So
there's just a lot of plot holes and funky stuff about it that I didn't. They just didn't quite get it there for me.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. Most I watch these shows lately just as if they were made by a very expensive fan film type show. It's just an expensive fan film. That's what I'm watching. Nothing really kind of correlates with each other, so it's like it's weird.
There's not a lot of
okay.
Like made for like a kindergartner or someone like you're watching Saturday night cartoons. It doesn't have a lot of depth to it. It's thought out a little bit, but it's just made for just to get excited about Star Wars. Not there's no really story to them. They're kind of like basic boring shows. Just good enough. Even the band great, but it's like watching Clint Eastwood, battle a bunch of dudes in town that's never fought before, and he helps the town guys defeat the enemy, and it's just so on. It's very basic stuff, which was great, but I felt like they could have just elaborated more on just more of a story. I don't know. I think
same, but I think that's why Andor is so much better than all the others, because Andor does have depth, right? And intensity and grittiness that none of these other shows have.
Right.
Yeah, and what if I was going to have a Boba Fett story, I would have preferred how Boba Fett became Boba Fett, because Boba Fett was cool because he was a bounty hunter and he was this mercenary guy and he was mysterious, and I would have loved to have seen how that band of bounty hunters traveled the galaxy doing things, and the thing, and not when he's Boba Fett and he's like the he's got the dad bod and he's just hanging out. And I mean, like, he became a cosplay for me instead of the cool guy that he used to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Hanging out in the bathtub.
Yeah. For Den, I mean, he was doing all that. Yeah. So it's like he was taking place of Boba Fett. Boba Fett could have a Den or whatever. They didn't want to conflict with that and have the same stories.
Right.
That after a bounty or after Han Solo or whatever. But I see why they went and had an origin story. But they didn't. Like I said, he was like old and retired, but I didn't get single episode.
And I know that it wasn't liked by fans, but I liked Solo. I thought the Solo story was actually pretty good. I think for me, I enjoyed the backstory of it, and I liked the little. I enjoyed it.
It's not working.
Man.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
I
like Solo, man. Solo was great.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot too. I've watched it a couple different times now.
Yeah.
Me too.
I was the only one. I guess I'm the only one out of this group that was like, meh.
Oh man.
And I know, because I have friends that are they're all in with the lore and they've read all the books and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't done all of that. And I know that they were angry that I loved the scene where, he's like, what's your family name? I'm alone. And they're like, Solo. And I went, oh God, that's great. I love that. And of course they were all mad because that's not how he got his name. And I'm like, no, but I love that. That was really good. Right? I like those little things. I enjoyed it. I thought it was the bomb with a it kind of had that scoundrel. He's just living by the seat of his pants. I thought it was really good.
I thought it was good too, man.
Yeah.
They need to do a Solo too for sure, and bring back.
And I think everybody got so mad about it they won't do it, because I wanted to see where they were going, because for those that were fans
Solo,
of like
I just want to cut in real quick. I think Solo would have been a great series as a show,
sure,
instead of a movie. Then maybe I would have probably liked it better.
So for those
get older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For those of you that watched all the cartoons and stuff, is Darth Maul who she was? Was he the Crimson Tide or the Red? I mean, is that where that was all going?
Yes.
Crimson Dawn. Yeah.
That is where that was going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, now we need a part 2 to that.
Mm-hmm. Got to bring back Cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell Disney, let's do a Darth Maul series now,
There you go.
There you go. Be better.
The problem with a lot of that stuff, though, is now you don't know where the hell in the timeline you are.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. I'm after Ahsoka, I was confused. Wait a minute, is this before, after? I don't know anymore,
right. Well, they kind of talked about it, like what had happened in Mandalore, or whatever. So I think it was after season 3 of The Mandalorian, but regardless, it's still very confusing.
Yeah.
I would almost like to see something completely new and different, and a completely new and different timeline.
Yeah.
Just come up with a new story. Don't rehash the same one over and over again. We don't need to necessarily bring in a bunch of legacy characters even. That's what was so great about The Mandalorian when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
It was this guy that we didn't know, had no idea what his story was, and we got to follow kind of, his point of view from his perspective on that was really,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
new and different, right? Even though it was in that time frame, you didn't really get caught up in it because it didn't matter. You know,
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole galaxy full of people. You can
Right.
you can throw in some other characters.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Again, I love it all. It's
I
it's
do
Star
too.
Wars. It's
I do
super
too.
fun. It's
Yeah.
as a prop builder, there's stuff in every one of those that I
Yeah,
would
of course.
or have made.
Agreed. All right. So as you threw the door open there, as a prop builder, what other show has the aesthetic that you would like to build props from?
The Disney Plus shows. We want to stick to that.
No, go nuts.
Have you guys seen Firefly?
No, I still haven't seen that.
I
You keep
haven't
bringing
either.
that up, and I said not watching.
I haven't
it.
either, and I know that Garland does. He's a big fan and keeps trying to get me to watch those, and eventually I'm going to. But I saw part of one episode, and I couldn't get anyone else in my family to be interested, so it kind of just went by the wayside.
You gotta like westerns too for some reason with that show. Yeah. So if you like westerns, you'll like I think you'll like the show a little bit because it's got a lot of that western feel to it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But as far as shows like Andor, for certain, I mean, there's a ton of really cool, the whole village that they created is just absolutely amazing, and I don't even care that there's bricks.
Yeah, I don't either. Why not?
Like it didn't bother me. It felt like it was it worked for me anyway.
Yeah, like Aliens.
Oh, Aliens, yeah.
Just the ships and all that Prometheus and just sci-fi.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a cheat answer, but Battlestar Galactica, just because it was done by the same people, it pretty much looks like the same thing. But I like the look of the Battlestar Galactica stuff. I think that's got a good aesthetic to it.
Right.
Didn't the original Superman movie? Didn't they use some of the panels from the Star Wars?
I think
set?
so.
I think they did for what's his name's control center.
Yeah. I have to look at that. You're talking about Christopher Reeve's Superman, the first one.
The very first one, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I have to look that up. Yeah.
The Fortress of Solitude, the crystals and stuff. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's his. It's the villain.
Yeah.
Oh, Zog.
Zog.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think. Have you guys watched Loki at all? I think Loki's got some good aesthetic. I like some of the look as the props to some of that stuff. I think that's good.
Right.
Tony wanted to talk about that a little bit. Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters is good.
Great stuff, yeah.
Yeah, the Loki's interesting because it's the whole 80s thing again, right?
Yeah.
80s computers and
all that.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of, I mean, looking at the entire room behind you, Tony, I mean, I think that's what I like about Star Wars is it's that cobbled together, anyone could do it type of thing. Right. It's the Tony Stark versus Batman type of, I mean, you could be a superhero if you just put enough crap together and you built your own thing. I mean, I like that feel, and that's kind of what Han Solo was to me. Is it's like you could be a rebel fighter, you just have to build something, and I like that feel.
Yeah,
the used universe. I think a lot of what the references we're mentioning are all kind of like that too, right? They're
and Ghostbusters as well. I just think it has that. Yeah. You just have to be smart enough to put something together and make it do something it was never intended to do, and I like that.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm just building a box and just throwing a bunch of electronics in there, wires. I've been building those like crazy. I love it.
I love the This is gonna make it sound much less cool. I love the peekaboo ones that you had just done, where you could see all the stuff behind, and it was like the two that were side by side. The two black ones that have like the stuff inside sunken in. I think those look really cool.
Right. It's got the face on it. It's got the.
Yeah.
So it's like you take a panel off, and all of a sudden that's what you have. Like
Right.
Piece and
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I built a few of those. Those are super fun to do.
Oh yeah. Quick too. You just throw them together. I don't have to cut any foam or anything. I just build a box. A couple of crap in there with some hot glue and
right.
Wow.
Paint it all and you're good to go. See, I love it.
I love it.
I wanted to ask you, Kelly, since you mentioned it.
Right.
How did you cut the boxes, especially the curved ones?
Oh, the big one for the Millennium Falcon thing?
Yeah.
The curved piece was just foam. It was EVA foam.
Really?
I was going to use that masonite that really blendy stuff, but
yeah, I
didn't have it on me. I'm like, I just glued it around the edge and reinforced it with some wood down there and just hot together. So it's pretty flimsy right there. But then I put the top plate on it.
Yeah.
You know, the frame part of it. I glued little pieces of wood around the edges. And I just drilled it to it, so it just pancaked it on. And I mean, I shook that thing like crazy. It weighed like 40, 50 pounds. And it shipped them and
so it wasn't laser cut wood, the frame?
No.
Really?
Jigsaw Jedi, baby.
Okay. I'm impressed.
Everything I do jigsaw. I mean, I do the table saw, but then everything I do is normally jigsaw and, just sand it up, man. It's ready to go.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have a drink with me today.
I'm about out.
Yeah, me too.
It's I guess it's about that time, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah. It is. I didn't even do any commercial breaks. Darn. I guess I have to do a commercial now, right?
Yeah.
So
don't anything about it. Yeah.
All right. So hey everybody that's watching and is gonna watch later. Don't forget to follow all these guys in the description box below. You can follow them on YouTube. You can also follow them on other social media apps. You can find them probably by their names. Try to finish something. Docking Bay 327 and Props and Villainy. And then and if you can support them by watching their stuff, following them. Also watch here, follow here, ding the bell button, and other ways to help support the channel is this.
What is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, you can. Yep, you can support us by buying stuff from our merchandise store. You go to insidetheboothtv.com/shop, or you can support us by hitting the like button, sharing it. We have a Patreon page. Become a Patreon member, and I guess you can now also become a Patreon member for free, just to test it out. And then if you like what you see there, you can support us financially. And then that's it. Ding the bell button so you get notified every time we go live or every time we post something. Last Tuesday, for those who haven't seen it yet, I interviewed Cosplay Chris. He's a YouTuber, and that was a fun interview. He also, I don't know, he doesn't build the props, but he buys the toys or whatever, and he makes them look cool. He does that to regular figure toys. and he calls them custom collectibles, and he does cosplay. All his costumes. Holy cow, he had a lot of costumes.
Lots.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
yeah, I've been kind of following him for a while now. I think I stumbled onto his Boba Fett rifle that he repainted.
Yep.
Yeah.
Saw that too.
I did that one from him, but yeah, there's that, and then he has the funny video of him trying to put on that Batman outfit. Like,
yeah, he's got a lot of. He did a lot of Batman outfits. So cool looking though. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how people do like his cosplays are like almost like I would say more on the upper level of professional.
Right.
Me, I'm like lower level. Like here's what I got. You know.
I give him full credit for me wanting to make my own Boba Fett blaster. This is just the toy that I made after watching his video. I'm like, oh, I got to do that. And that's all after watching his.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell him that. I'm gonna get him on one of these times with this show.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Then you guys can all talk and stuff. That'd be sweet. I'll just sit back and watch. Yeah. So I guess that's it, everybody. Thanks for being here. You know, everyone on the panel, thank you for being here. Everyone watching, thanks for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. Thank you. And then here's this.
Yeah.
One more love. Go ahead. Up higher. Up higher. Yeah, go up higher. There you go. There it is. Some love.
There it is.